Respond by unmuting yourself or writing in the chat. Which photo restoration looks better, A or B in your opinion? Why?
B.
B.
Looks better.
Okay. Why does B, oh, sorry guys. Why does B look better to you? See, B.
I don't know. It looks like it got more color.
Okay, so it looks bolder, it's got more color. Great. See, it looks like a movie scene. Yeah. I see another B. It does look clear and crisp. B looks better. I feel like the shadow and background in A is weird. Okay. I do think when you do this, it's nice to have, or you meant the opposite. Okay. So you feel like A looks better. Okay, got it. Sorry. So background in A is weird. Or B is weird, you said. Okay, I got it. Gotcha. So maybe the first one, Jonathan thinks the first one looks a little more natural. And then others think the colors in the B pop. Well, this is cool because you can kind of do it the way that you want to do it, which is fun. And you can pick whatever colors you'd like. I would definitely say when you're doing this though, try to do colors that are going to look natural. So you can do your own colors, like for example, for the clothes, pick your own colors, but if you're doing Abraham Lincoln, like he's not going to be wearing like a bright purple suit. Like try to do something that's going to look a little bit more realistic. So today we are going to continue our photo restoration, and this time I'm going to be showing you guys how to add color. So there's several tools that I'm going to go over today, and I'm just going to give you guys a little overview on the tools, and then I'm going to do a demonstration. And after the demonstration, I'll go over the criteria again, and then I'll send you off to start doing this on your own. Okay, so the first tool and feature in Photoshop that I want to go over is the layers panel. So the layers panel is in the bottom right. It shouldn't say left, sorry about that. It's in the bottom right of your Photoshop interface. Bottom right side of your Photoshop interface. So what you do is you guys can actually see in the animation here, to make a new layer is you click on the little plus sign to make a new layer. And then when you make a new layer for this project, it's really important that you name and label your layers. So this kind of teaches you the importance of being organized. So the way we do that is just by clicking the layer and then typing in a name. And the color panel. So we're actually going to be, the method that we use is painting. So we use the brush tool to paint, and then the eraser to erase the areas that we paint outside of where we want to add color. And the way we pick colors is we just go to the color panel in the top right of our screen and slide and adjust on the right side till you get the hue that you want, so the color that you want, and then you can adjust the saturation and tone, so how vibrant the color is, just by clicking anywhere inside of the rectangle. So how are we going to add color in Photoshop? So in my demonstration today, I'm going to use this image as an example. And the way we do it is we use the brush tool, and then we select the color that we want, make sure we're on the right layer for whatever designated area we're working on. And then we use the eraser to erase any extra spillover. Any questions so far? Okay, so this is an example of what it can end up looking like. And I'm going to go over the following with you guys. I'm going to show you the layers panel, the brush tool, the color panel, blending mode options, transparency, and the eraser. So I'm going to get started by opening Photoshop. Oh, that's great. Okay. Okay, you guys, so we're picking back off with our restoration. We have our link in here that we fixed up. Now the next step is going to be adding color. So the first thing I'm going to do is add layers. So I'm going to the bottom right-hand corner of my screen. And just to confirm that you all can see my screen, right? You can see Photoshop.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Perfect. Okay, so bottom right-hand corner of my screen, clicking on the plus sign and adding a new layer. So I'm just going to double click where it says layer 1, and I'm going to start by doing skin. Skin. Sorry, I have people joining late here. All right, and I'm going to do hair. And I'm just going to keep adding layers. Suit. Vest. What else can I add, you guys? The wall or the background. What else can I add here? The chair. And oh, one thing I didn't add is the eyes. Okay, so I'm going to start with the skin. Got a question in the chat? Yes, I'm starting by adding color to the picture. So for this layer, I'm going to add in color on this everywhere that we can see the skin. So I'm just going to assume that everyone's doing this photo with me. If you decide to do a different photo, that's totally fine. Because I know you might be inspired by that article I showed you. If you want to do a different picture, you can. That's totally fine. But I'm just going to show you guys the steps with this image. So when I start with the skin tone, I go down to the area in between yellow and red here and kind of click somewhere around the middle. And this is kind of like trial and error too. So I'm going to start with this. And when you guys do this on your own, you can copy the same color that I did if you want to. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you can try. And if it doesn't really work, like let's say I do this and it looks weird, I don't like the color, I can always go back and just Control Z and cancel it and do it again. Okay, so now that I've selected my color in the top right of my screen in the color panel, what I'm going to do is go to the brush tool. Okay, and the brush tool's over here on the left, and the shortcut for the brush tool is B. So I can actually just hit the B key and it pulls it up. Now, if I want to adjust my brush size, does anyone remember the shortcut to adjust my brush size? Your toolbar. Okay, so if your layout on Photoshop, thank you for bringing this up. Brackets, thank you. So if your layout doesn't look like this, what you need to do is go to the top right-hand corner of your screen, click on this little icon here, and go to Reset Essentials. And what it does is it resets your layout. So in case, let's say I messed with this. Oh, I lost my toolbar, whatever. You just go to Reset Essentials. Okay. So I've got my skin tone, got my brush tool. Thank you for telling us how we adjust the brush size. We use the square brackets. And I'm going to start by doing the skin. So the goal is to cover the entire area where the skin is. Okay, and we end up getting something that looks like this, which obviously isn't what we want it to look like right now. But what we're going to do is start by using blending options. So on your layers panel, there's this area, this little drop down menu that says normal. So what this does is this allows you to apply a specific type of blending option to a layer. So I'm going to show you guys what they all look like just by flipping through them. And sometimes artists use these for, artistic effect. Actually, you know what? That one looks pretty good. I'm going to keep going though. You guys can tell me which one you like more. So overlay looks pretty good. Soft light. I found for the skin that color mode looks really nice, this one. What do you guys think? Color or overlay, soft light? I think this one looks a little too orange. Let's start with this one. Overlay. Let's see what I got in the chat here. What did I click to blend? Okay, so on this panel on the bottom right hand screen of the bottom right hand side of my screen here, I clicked, it said normal. This is the blending mode options. So I click here and then selected which option I want. Okay, so I'm going to go with this one. And if I find that the color is too strong, what I can do is adjust the opacity, which is right here on my next to the blending options. And what this does is this allows you to adjust how see-through or transparent the layer is. So I'm going to leave it about right there. And now I'm going to use my eraser tool. So the eraser tool is on the toolbar right here. And the shortcut is the letter E. So the cool thing is like you can erase like this. Oh, I went too far. I can hit B with my keyboard and add it back. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of some of this extra area that I colored, the spillover. And you guys notice how I left the color on the beard there? I'm gonna leave it because with the beard, you do kind of see through the skin a little bit, so I'm gonna leave that there. And just remember, if you need to zoom into an area to get precise, we do Control+ or Command+ to zone in that area. So you could just zoom in. I'm going to erase this extra spillover. So I'm going to do one more section for you guys and then take any questions. So does anyone have any questions so far about the steps that I've gone over?
No.
No? Okay. Okay. So I'm going to erase this. Okay. So now I've got, and I'll show you what the layer looks like. This is what it looks like without the picture. Okay. Now what should I do next, you guys? What would you like me to do? The hair, the suit, the wall? You tell me. What should I do next? What should I do next? The vest. Okay, what color should I make the vest? Blue. Okay. So I'm gonna do like a midnight blue, which is a little more blue than a navy. Let's see here. All right, so make sure when you're doing this, okay, so I'm not on my skin layer anymore. So I'm gonna click on my vest layer and I'm gonna start painting. Is that a good blue for you guys? This might,
Yeah.
this might be too bright. Let's see how it looks. Well, the good thing is we have those blending options, right? So if we do want to change the way it looks overlapping, we can always do that. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can see the full effect. Ooh, I kind of like that one. What do you guys think about that? I think I like that one the most. Darken or multiply. I guess this one is okay too. Soft light. Which one do you guys think is best? Ooh, you're colorblind. Okay. Can you see, can you not see blue? Or all colors? Okay, I'm going to now go in with my eraser and I'm going to turn down the opacity just so I can see where I need to erase. Okay. And remember, if we make a mistake, I erase too much here, just Control Z or Command Z on a Mac. Okay. Just erase this here. And remember, for these little areas, I'm making my brush a little bit smaller here so I can get into the details. And actually what I did for this one, for the chain, was I did it gold because he had a gold pocket watch. So I'm just going to erase that part. Okay. What do you guys think so far? I'll leave it a little bit darker. Okay, so would you like me to show you one more layer, or do you guys feel like you understand the process? I'm going to show you the... So for this, what you need to do is take a photo and add color to it. So if you would like to, you could take a photo that's in color and make it black and white and add the color back in. But for this part of the example, or for this project, you are manually adding color. So it kind of makes the most sense to use a black and white photo. But if there is something that you want, you know, that you like, a picture of you that you'd like to try doing, what you need to do is remove the color and then add it back in. Okay, so I'm going to do one more example. So what would you guys like me to do for the last example? I could do the hair. Let's do the hair. So I'm going to go down to the same, around the same area where I was for the skin, and I have to see what it looks like. So I'm going to make sure I go to my layer that says hair, use my brush. Let's test it out. Okay, no. Control Z. That looks green. Absolutely not. And I'm gonna go pretty dark here. I think I should go a little bit darker. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to, and I'm on my right layer here. I'm gonna color this in. Just let me know if you have any questions. So it's the same process, the brush. And I'm even going to, on this layer, it might look kind of bad, but I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try.
Do we have to do the eyebrows?
I would. It might look weird if you don't. But you could probably just lump it together with the hair. What do you guys think? He looks great. Okay, so let's test out. Which option looks, oh my goodness. Okay, I think I liked, I don't know if I like any of these. What do you guys think? I guess this one. Soft light. And now I'm going to erase. So one thing that that I didn't show you guys is kind of like a level up strategy. So let's say I don't want, do you see how the skin layer is kind of too strong on where the beard is? What I can do is go back to that skin layer, and I want to get rid of some of the brown that's here, but I don't want it to be so harsh. So what I'm going to do is in the options bar, which is at the top of the screen, I'm going to turn down the opacity on my brush. So now it's going to only be erasing 50% of what I want. So do you see how you can still see the brown there? And right now I'm on my skin layer doing this. Okay. Okay, not the best, but this is what it looks like. Okay. One thing that you don't want to forget about either is you got to go back to that skin layer and erase the eyes. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys, we're running out of time, so I just want to make sure that I show you what it looks like at the end. So if I remove my, and by the way, you guys, you can hide layers just by clicking on this eyeball here. So I'm going to show you what everything looks like when it all comes together. So I did my wall, did the skin. I actually went back over, I don't know if you guys can see, and I added in a little bit of pink for the lips, the cheeks, and the nose. You get the eyes. The eyes, I just added a little bit of not pure white, just kind of like a beige color right here, and a tiny bit of blue right there in the middle. Hair. Hair too. I wanted to add more to the hair. Zoom out. the suit, the chair, the vest, and the chain. Okay, so this is what the final product looks like. All right, you guys. So let me go back to my slides. So you guys, this is going to be the last thing that you have to do before we have our break. Drip. Yeah, it does. It ends up looking really cool. And you know, if you kind of decide that you do a layer and it looks a little funny, the great thing about having layers is like, I noticed it on this one that I did. I think it looks good, but the skin tone, I feel like it looks a little too yellow. So I could always just delete that layer and go back and do it again. That's the best thing about Photoshop. You don't have to start everything from scratch. So for this part of your picture, we started with this upside down looking, damaged Abraham Lincoln, and then we end up with this really cool colorized image. So what you guys have to make sure you're doing when you submit it is that it's prepared, it doesn't have any scratches or damage, and we add natural looking color to the clothing, the hair, the everything in the image. We want it to be believable and real. So it can be subtle. It doesn't have to be totally bold and strong, but it does need to have detail, and everything needs to be colored in. All right, you guys, so wrapping things up, let's just have a quick discussion. How are you guys feeling about this project right now and the second step? Do you have any questions? And just reminding you again, I'm not going to assign anything else before the break. So this is going to be our last activity together in 2020. Okay, I'm going to stop my pause.